Hey, I have a Super Black Eagle 320 gauge.
I have a Super Black Eagle 320 gauge.
Yeah, well, mine's better.
Well, mine's the best.
What makes yours the best?
Well, we got a BE.S.T right here. It says it right on it. We have the Super Black Eagle 3 20 gauge AI barrel technology BE.S.T edition with us.
Well, guess what? I want that one. You take that one. So if you're looking for a detailed and in-depth review, you've come to the right place. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm excited about this one, the Super Black Eagle 3. It's been around for a while. It's well known as being one of the best waterfowl hunting shotguns. But this isn't any ordinary SBE3. This is the SBE3 AI with their new advanced impact technology. We'll get into that, what that means with barrels and choke tubes. But also it's their BE.S.T, which means it has the Benelli surface treatment and a 25 stinking year warranty against corrosion, which that is pretty dang sweet. Plus some other fancy things like oversized controllers. We're gonna dive all into it, but let's kick it off with some specs. Getting started, if you're gonna get into a Benelli Super Black Eagle 3, just AI version, there's two options. There's the Cerakote version that comes in at $25.99. So yes, we are talking about a little bit more of the spendy semi-autos, but we'll get into why they're a little more expensive here shortly. But if you want the AI BE.S.T Super Black Eagle 3, that's gonna cost you about $29.99. So we're pushing that $3,000 envelope. That's if you get it in 20 gauge, which is what we have here. And I think with this new AI technology, 20 gauge may become even more popular. We'll see. A lot of things have been shifting to sub gauge, even for waterfowl, upland. So we'll see what happens there. But the 12 gauge is a little bit more, about $3,200 MSRP. So you really have a few options. Just go with the AI Cerakote or the AI BE.S.T. I mean, you could always just go back to a basic Super Black Eagle 3 20 gauge or 12 gauge, but why would you want to when they have advanced impact technology and the BE.S.T coating? I know some of you are gonna have answers to that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We're looking at the specs of this shotgun. The length of pull, the distance from the trigger to the butt end is 14 3/8 inches. For me, I would say a little bit short. If I got my big bulky clothes on and I'm hunting ducks here in Minnesota or in cold weather climates, it's probably gonna be just fine. I'm guessing, like all the other ones, yes, this pops out like this. And there are different sizes, I believe, that you can. Chase, am I correct on that? Correct. Ha, we got a fact checker on site. There are different size butt pads that you can put on, easy to pop out. The only thing I'm concerned about is longevity. Like, how does that hold up over time? If you have this design, let us know. Would love to hear your thoughts. So as far as the drop at the comb, we're looking at 1 3/8. Drop at the heel, we're looking at 2 1/8. So we have overall 3/4 inch of drop across the comb. Weight-wise, this baby is light. So if you like light guns, you're gonna like this. 5 pounds, 13 ounces is my new guess. And 5 pounds, 13 ounces. It feels lighter than it is. Still a light gun, sub 6 pound, 20 gauge. With a 28-inch barrel, I am still surprised how light this is. Of course, if we look at this gun, carbon fiber rib, that's gonna help with being a little bit lighter on the gun, maybe a few other features. We're getting ahead of ourselves because we're still talking about specs here. One of the things I wanna check with specs is the trigger. A little bit of pre-travel to it. Pretty common in the Benellis and a lot of semi-autos. A little sponge to it actually, but it breaks nicely. It is 6 pounds. Let's see how close I am. 6 pounds was my guess, and it comes out at 5 pounds, 9.9 ounces. So just under 6 pounds. Let's try that one more time. 5 pounds, 8 ounces essentially. So 5.5 pounds, maybe a little over 5.5 pounds. which is pretty decent, especially for a waterfowl gun. No complaints. A few last things to mention with the specs is all the Super Black Eagle 3 barrels are 28 inches. No other options at this moment, at the making of this video, 28 inches, and it's available in either 12 or 20 gauge. Now quickly, one last thing we want to look at. When we're talking about the AI, it's really how they make the barrel and the choke tubes. It's a brand new system that is supposed to deliver 50% more penetration energy. I haven't tested that. Benelli says they have. I'll take their word for it, but that sounds pretty crazy. How can you just change the contours, the shapes essentially of the barrel and the choke system and gain velocity over a standard gun with the same ammo? It still gets me thinking. I don't know how they did it. I have kind of mapped out the barrels of some of these AI shotguns from Benelli, and they are pretty interesting. Lengthened forcing cones, kind of when they taper down and how long it takes them to taper. But what's really interesting is their choke tubes. They have the Crio advanced impact choke tubes, and they are long. What do we say, 5 inches? They're long choke tubes, and then their parallel section and their taper section are different than a lot of the standard chokes. We won't get into a lot of details on how that works, but what Benelli claims is 50% more penetration energy downrange at, I think that's at like 30, 40 yards, something like that, which is really crazy. If you look at the bore, this is a 20 gauge, this is a 20 gauge. And if we put them side by side and get nice and close, you will see that the advanced impact bore is much larger than your standard 20 gauge. So that's a pretty interesting piece there. Moving on to ergonomics, you know, this gun isn't really much different than your standard Super Black Eagle 3 20 gauge, with a few exceptions, of course. Looks a little bit different. It has this tungsten coating, which looks awesome. I love the color, but the whole gun is treated with Benelli's surface treatment, which has a 25-year warranty against rust and corrosion. If you have a Benelli with the BE.S.T treatment, let me know how it's held up. I've never owned one. I would be super curious to own one, but they are sleek, nice looking shotguns. Of course, they have the Comfort Tech 3 recoil system. Standard kind of stippling, it's not really checkering, just kind of texture on there. But I always love the forend grips of the Benellis. A lot of the other stuff is very much like your normal Super Black Eagle 3. Very modern looking, very, very nice. But this one has oversized bolt handle. This one has oversized bolt release, and that is with the BE.S.T. That's not part of the AI package, that's part of the BE.S.T package. If you look at the loading port underneath, it is slightly milled out. It's not aggressively milled out, but pretty darn easy to load, ready to rock. But as we move forward on this gun, we'll see a few other differences from your standard Super Black Eagle 3. We got this carbon fiber rib. I believe that's part of the BE.S.T system. And then of course, the oversized barrel and choke that we talked about. But ergonomically speaking, I really do enjoy how this feels in my hands. Very light, mounts nicely. Big red fiber on the front. Y'all know what I think about that. But hey, you can always take those off. You can always change them. And you just might love them, and that's okay. All right, so we got some Remington game loads. 7/8, 1,225 feet per second. I'm sure we got, oh, there we go. Let's just try it. F here, F target, pull. You know, I have a tendency to shoot this shotgun over birds. I don't know what it is. It shoots higher than some of the other guns I was shooting earlier today. Pull, I'll get under. Recoil wise, I mean, this is 20 gauge. It's got some pop for a 20 gauge, straight back into the shoulder. You know, it's wanting to pop out of my forward hand a little bit. It's a very light gun, and that's something you're gonna sacrifice. Let's try a different target. Surprise me, Chase. Pull. Quack, 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 quack. Oh yeah. All of a sudden the bird creeps in. There it is. I don't know. I am not dusting anything, but we're here to test recoil, and the recoil feels moderately good. For a gun of this weight, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm having fun shooting it, but I'm on a mission now to dust. Pull. Pull. Earlier today, we were testing out 30-inch barrel sporting clay guns, and it is such a different experience for me to now move to this. It's quick, it's whippy, and I gotta be under birds. Here it comes. Recoil-wise, feels pretty dang good. I'm pretty happy with it. What I'm not happy with is I'm not smoking. But Chase says he's so used to this gun, he'll smoke everything. So we're gonna get him up here, see if that is the case.
Pull.
I don't know, Chase. You shoot that better than me, you think?
You know, I think I'm gonna shoot this one better than Steve. I can't say it about anything, nor can I challenge him about anything else. So I'm gonna challenge him to a little test on this one.
You just call a bird. Let's see if you can, let's not make it the easiest one. Yeah, let's go double. Let's go double.
Right.
Call your double. If you can hit it, I'll go for it.
Give me a G and an F here.
Pair GF on your call.
Pull.
All right, Chase pulled it off. He almost took my teeth out as well. Those hulls coming right back past my face. Pull. That was too easy. Pull.
Doors open, Steve.
I just missed both of those. All you gotta do is hit one. All you gotta do is hit one. How did I do that?
This is when the pressure's on here.
You know, I'm an invited guest. I never like to beat up on people when I'm an invited guest.
Pull.
Oh, and he just crushes both of them. Well, we figured out one thing. Naturally, out of the box, you shoot this way better than I do. It was so interesting going from earlier today shooting sporting clay guns, 30-inch barrels, much heavier, couple pounds heavier, to now shooting this. Felt super awkward for me, but
For me, it feels great. I'm a waterfowl hunter at heart. That's what I do. I don't do much clay shooting. I don't do much sporting clay shooting. So I'm used to a lightweight duck gun, so to speak, like this. Whereas Steve, I'm sure you got a lot more experience behind your over-unders, 688s, 725s, and
I got a lot of experience with a lot of guns, and that's why I don't shoot any of them naturally, because I'm always shooting a different gun. But I could get used to it. It would take me a little bit of time just to slow that swing down, to see the sight picture a little bit differently. I think this is shooting a little high. I don't know that these guns shoot 50-50. I'm not sure. Some people talk about Benelli shooting a little bit higher, but I know every clay that I missed out here, generally I was high.
Right.
So seeing that a little bit different. You know, I was surprised recoil-wise, this actually felt pretty decent. It's a light gun. There's a little bit of pop for a 20 gauge, but really manageable.
Super manageable.
The B.E.S.T coating though, that fascinates me. You're gonna pay a little bit of money for it, but I think it's super cool that, and so many people pride themselves of not cleaning their guns and taking care of them, which I always think is a little bit silly, but in this case, your gun may last longer if you still clean it, but with that B.E.S.T coating, I would be curious to just play with that, maybe throw it in salt water, maybe leave it out a few nights.
You know, I got some experience behind the B.E.S.T edition.
Do you?
My dad shoots a Super Black Eagle B.E.S.T edition. He cleans it. It's never recommended to not clean your guns. But when we're on our long North Dakota trips out west shooting birds, and it goes right in a case after a snowy or rainy day, it's never came out of that case with rust.
And that is the recipe. Like even for one night, if you take a wet gun, put it in a case where it can't breathe, most guns will have rust the next day.
Right away the next morning.
That is really awesome. So I think that's a cool feature. The AI, I think, is really neat in concept. I feel like when I've shot AI guns, I've had to choke tighter than what I thought. So if I'd shoot a mod, I'd probably need to go to an improved mod in that scenario, which kind of makes sense. Oversized bore, we need to maybe constrict it down a little bit. I don't know what Benelli's philosophy is there, but Really cool gun for waterfowlers that want to buy a premium gun that's going to last a long time. This is one. It's going to cost you a little bit. Yeah, really cool, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Shout out to Reed's for supplying all the shotguns, making this possible. Remember, whether you're in the field or you're in life, you're only going to hit those shots you're laser focused on. So live
Target focused life.
See ya!